What was going on with you and Destiny? Because it got really heated really fast.
Well, so I actually didn't even remember this, and I didn't see it until I guess we got in like our internet argument, but I will take some responsibility for that, because I forgot about this, genuinely. But I do like live part of the problem episodes at comedy clubs sometimes. So like when I'm doing a weekend of shows, sometimes they'll add like a live part of the problem. And it's a very different vibe than my typical podcast. We're at a comedy club in front of a live crowd, having drinks, and then I take questions from the audience. And so this was at Zany's in Chicago. And I was like a couple whiskeys in, and someone just asked me about Destiny. I was just trashing them. Oh. I trashed them in a way that I typically am not known for doing, you know what I mean? But I was being honest.
It's called Destiny derangement syndrome. Don't worry, I bring that out a lot of people, a lot of frustrated, angry, incel-y young men. It happens.
I'm just giving my honest feelings about the guys. But I think he took that personally.
But what were you saying, though, broadly speaking? Maybe not in a drunk way.
I took that personally. I mean, I didn't take it personally in a way that it hurt my feelings, but they were personal attacks. I think that's kind of weird to be like, oh yeah, so like I called him a cuck and talked about his wife, and he took that personally. I mean, like, it's not like you were criticizing an argument I've made, but okay.
They asked me, I forget exactly what the question was, but I think they asked the question about the debate that he was a part of with Benny Morris and those guys. And I was just like, oh, it was ridiculous that he was there. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, these are like world-renowned experts who have spent 30 years, like research.
Wait, am I crazy? Didn't he make comments about being a cuck or whatever? Am I making that up? Or maybe he'll say that at the end.
This topic, and he's just the guy who just got interested in this, who's like a streamer. Like, this is insane. And by the way, maybe I didn't make it clear, but I wasn't like putting myself above that level. I had an organization reached out to me about debating Benny Morris, and
he did. Okay, he just ignores that part. Okay,
I was like, no. That's ridiculous. That's just like absurd. Like, I've read a lot of books about the Israel-Palestine conflict, but he's written a lot of books. Like, I've read his books. Like,
wait, why would he admit to this? Why would you not want to have an argument with somebody or a conversation with somebody who's so much more educated than you, especially if you're a communicator on these topics? Wouldn't you want to become more informed? What an interesting perspective here. Like, you're literally debating to win. Like you've just given away the whole game. Why would I argue with somebody who's so much more knowledgeable than me? I could be incorrect. Like, he chooses easy. He's doing the thing that I just said he does. It's like the Jake Pauling, like the picking your opponents.
It's even funnier because this is what we can get to after this. It's that like Benny Morris joking. Now Chris Cuomo, oh yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, but that's true, because right. Chris Cuomo is just somebody who talks about this stuff for a living, and I'm someone who talks. Someone said to me just the other night, when I saw them at Allegiant Skank Show, and they said this in jest, but they were like, dude, you got Chris Cuomo, next you got to debate Fauci. And I was like, well, I couldn't debate Fauci, because he'll start talking about scientific stuff that's like so far beyond my knowledge that no, you have to have like a good epidemiologist debate Fauci. You know what I mean? It can't be, but it's Chris Cuomo or Laura Loomer or something like that. Then yeah, sure, I'll debate them. Yeah. But And by the way, that's not even to say maybe I could win a debate against Benny Morris or against Fauci. Like, there's points that I have that I'm pretty strong on that I don't think they have good counters to, but it's still just ridiculous for me to be there. So I started kind of talking about that, and then I do that.
Like what? Wait, name one or two. I want to hear it. Why not just say a couple?
And this is at a comedy club. So I did make a couple shots about like the whole thing with like him being a cuck or his wife leaving him.
There we go. Oh, okay. There you go. Okay, he got there eventually.
For the dude she was with. So listen, he's right in a sense. I was out of line to be doing that. I was being funny in front of my crowd. Sometimes in those shows I don't exactly think about the fact that this is getting put out onto the internet. Yeah. So I can understand from his perspective where that rubbed him the wrong way. So fair shot at him. So he then took some shots at me on Twitter. I mean, literally a moment after I said this at the comedy club, forgot that I had said this. Right. And so I kind of like responded like fucking shit about me. And then people started claiming like they posted like the clips. I guess he did a response video. And so I will admit, I was like, all right, I guess I started to like talking. But what I was being genuine with is that Destiny is a guy, from what I've seen of him, which is not a ton. So, but the judgment that I've made of him is that I do think he's somebody who seems more interested in winning an argument than genuinely being correct in his ideas. Or
you literally, how can he say this without an ounce of self-awareness? You literally just said that you wouldn't have an argument with somebody that was more informed with you on a topic. And now you're saying that the only thing that I care about is winning? Like, then if that was the case, then why would I sit next to Benny Morris? Why would I sit across from Moin Rabbani or Norm Finkelstein? If I'm just looking for easy wins, if I'm just a debate mercenary trying to like carve out easy wins, getting easy notches in my belt for debate victory, like.
Or in good faith kind of engaging with someone else's ideas. And I just find that to be very unpleasant. I had one experience with him. I've seen a few clips of him doing this before. And then I had one experience with him where we were on Piers Morgan together and we were on a panel. And this is one of the things I was talking about at Zany's. So what happened, I said something about how there were a ton of like the worst misinformation during the COVID hysteria was coming out of the halls of power and out of the corporate media. And they accused.
Why are you, it's a Piers Morgan episode, bro. You say a few things to the camera and you move on to the next person. Like Benny Johnson, I think. Is that the name of the guy in between us? Like, yeah, these are not like serious debates. I don't know if we even had more than one or two back and forth. This is going to be the standard by which you evaluate somebody's ability to have a conversation.
Everyone else misinformation. And I said one of the things I rattled off was, like if you get the vaccine, you won't get COVID and you won't transmit COVID. And he immediately snaps back and goes, oh, come on, you're calling Biden out for one gaffe, but then you'll make apologies for every Trump gaffe that there is.
Gaffe.
And yeah, so immediately,
well,
it was like, number one, it wasn't a gaffe. It wasn't just Biden. It was the head of the CDC. It was Rachel Maddow. It was Chris Cuomo. It was everybody. It was politicians of both parties. And so number one, it wasn't a gaffe. Number two, apologize for every Trump gaffe. Like, what? It's like, I'm not a Trump supporter. It wasn't a gaffe. And it's just, there's things like this where I think Destiny gets into this debate mode thing where instead of
it was a debate. It was a Piers Morgan debate. Yeah, I'm in ultra debate mode there, of course. We're exercising maximum rhetoric. No shit. We're literally here with like 30 seconds to give our talking point before he asks a question to the next person. That's what we're there for. What are you talking about?
Like the good faith response to that, even if you're on the other side of the argument, is to go like, look, they did oversell the vaccine, but here's the reality of the situation. They were trying to get people vaccinated. It was the right, whatever your thing is. But in that moment, I feel like he's just like, hey, I just lost a point. How do I win a point back? I think this is one of the reasons why I've done a couple of these on your show. And every time, like I did with you, we did one with Curtis Yarvin, one with Will Chamberlain, and one with Constantine.
Constantine Ukraine.
About Ukraine.
Yes.
And every single time you always open it by going, this isn't a debate, it's a conversation. And I think the reason you do that is because you're trying to break both of us out of that.
Those are trigonometry and stuff. That's different. That's like a 1 to 3 hour long form one-on-one debate over a particular topic. The Piers Morgan format is not that.
Mode. Like,
Yes,
I have this
I
mode
think
of
that
like,
mode.
let's not treat this like a tennis match where we're just each trying to score a point. Let's actually kind of engage with people's ideas. And even when I'm in structured debates, I always try to approach them like that. I try to listen to what the person's saying, and I'll rant if they make a good point. I feel like he doesn't do that. And I find that to be very unpleasant to deal with.
I haven't had that much experience with him, so I can't speak on that. The one point
Like, it's so great. Like, you can see I've had so many conversations. He's probably seen at least parts of my conversation with Jordan Peterson, with Ben Shapiro, with Candace. I was like, it's not me screaming at them the entire time. Like, I feel like I'm pretty responsive, but holy.
Okay, so where did things resolve between you and him? Because I know Zero Hedge wanted me to moderate a debate between you guys, and I think that fell away.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's just. It's funny because I do so many of these debates. I mean, at least I think he probably does more because I think he just streams. Like, he's one of these guys I believe who's like streaming for hours that just seem inconceivable to me. Like that Hassan Piker guy streams for like 15 hours a day or something. And I just
Wait, seriously?
the numbers are goofy. I don't understand it. I don't understand why anyone would want to live their life that way or how the content could possibly be good. I think there's like a lot of downtime in it. A lot of just watching someone play video games and then they.
Listen to us boomers. We're so old.
I mean, it is,
Rather than figure out how to do it, we're just sitting here speculating because we're never going to look at it.
Fair enough.
Right?
But I mean, I do a lot of debates. That one just isn't one that has ever particularly interested me because I do feel like it becomes a thing where you have to debate the tactics that your debate opponent is using, and it's just very exhausting at this point in my.
Like, it's so funny because we can just watch him like squirm around like a little worm when he's debating against Andrew, and he's the one that's engaged in all these stupid tactics, like avoiding whatever he can to laugh away a hypothetical, or being unwilling or unable to answer a question, or is can't ever summarize the position of his opponent. His position can never be summarized. Like, you can't follow basic argumentation or structures. Like, has to say, oh, that's semantics, blah blah blah. Like, you're the one that engages in all of these stupid tactics. Like, there's plenty of debates with me with highly contentious people where we don't do this. Like, it's such a massive hope. Holy, it's like debate flaccidity is what I'm getting here. He's a flaccid debater.
It becomes a thing where you have to debate the tactics that your debate opponent is using, and it's just very exhausting. At this point in my career, I'd kind of rather just go do the big debates that I find interesting for whatever reason.
He wants to have an audience that glazes him hard. He doesn't want any pushback, and he wants to make sure that he's in an arena where he's always going to be safe from any real challenge. That's what he's looking for, which is fine, but just like, admit that, be honest. Just own that. You're a pussy. That's fine. Like, you want to preach to a choir, you want to get paid, you want to grow your clout. You don't actually give a about any of the things you're arguing about. You don't really care about any of these things, right? You LARP as a libertarian because it's popular. You don't even know what the non-aggression principle is. That's embarrassing. I would kill myself. Holy. That would be like that'd be like me saying like, yeah, I'm a hard atheist. I've been an atheist all my life. And somebody's like, atheist? Are you an atheist or an agnostic? I'm like, agnostic? What does that mean? Agnostic? What? I've never heard that term in my life. Like,
I appreciate that, Destiny.
all right, bye.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.